Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. And start today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys the best 15 brawlers to max out this season. So as you guys probably know already, buffies are at the forefront of the meta. So, you know, quite a lot of these are kind of obvious, right? Because they are buffy brawlers, but I will give you guys some alternatives as well. And I will go through, when I talk about the buffy brawlers, you know, which ones you need, which ones you don't. Can you actually use them without buffies? So let's dive into it straight away then. So start off with, oh, you've guessed it, a new buffy brawler. Everyone knows this one. So I'm just going to get it out of the way. Bibi. Bibi is one of the best brawlers inside of the game. Inside of ranked, Bibi is very counterable, by the way. But when you're playing ladder, again, in ladder, you can't counter a Bibi, but she's pretty brainless. You can just run into a straight line. Her gadget, Vitamin Booster, is very strong, especially with the buffy. The buffies for the star power aren't really needed on Bibi. And then the hypercharge is completely broken. I mean, the hypercharge is really strong on Bibi, but then the hypercharge buffy is extra strong. So Bibi's going to be best on like Brawl Ball, on Heist, on Gem Grab in particular. These free game modes she's going to be really strong on. Yeah, she's still really strong. Next brawler you must absolutely max out for this season has to be a Bull. So Bull's buffies are pretty good, but I actually don't think you need all of them outside of the hypercharge buffy with Bull. So that's the reason why he's so broken, because you get an extension of your hypercharge when you have the buffy with it. So it goes from 5 to 7 seconds. Also, his main attack just deals insane amount of damage with it. And he can just chain supers like crazy again because of the extension. So that's going to be the main reason why he's really strong, the hypercharge buffy. I mean, the Stomper gadget stuns for longer. I don't think that's part of the buffy. I'm pretty certain. Correct me if I'm wrong. So just a Stomper gadget getting increased stun duration is just really strong. Both gadgets are pretty good and pretty good with the buffy. And then the star powers, again, they're nice additions, but they're not anything like completely game-breaking. They're really fun. But again, I think all you need with Bull is the hypercharge buff. It is Bull at the end of the day. I think, well, a lot of pros agree. Like, Bull, when he gets his hypercharge, is just unstoppable. There isn't a single thing in the game that can counter him, because you think about it, right? Even if he messes up his hypercharge super, he can just probably two-shot half the brawlers in the game with his main attack once he lands after the hypercharge super. So yeah, he's completely broken. He's insane everywhere. Next brawler must be maxing out this season has to be Mortis. So I literally called it last time. There was a couple of nerfs with Mortis. I just knew it wouldn't be enough. And yeah, he's still pretty much an S tier brawler inside of the game, guys. It depends on the player that uses Mortis, right? But there's a reason why in pro play, pretty much everyone just bans Mortis or picks Mortis in a lot of different game modes. He's insane. So the reason why Mortis is so good is both gadgets are pretty decent, but I still think, well, yeah, both are good, right? It depends on the situation. But the Creature of the Night gadget, the newly reworked one, the one that can go through walls, you can be invincible, and when you pop this gadget, right, yeah, you can go through walls, but you also recharge your ammo and charge up your long dash. So there's just so many like benefits to this. I think a really underrated feature of Mortis as well is his, what I thought it's called, the long dash star power, called Snake, that's it. The buffy is actually really nice with it because you get it so often. You get a constant damage reduction shield. Again, it's like for a brief second and people don't realize just how strong it is. I think it really allows them to close the gap. And then you've got your hypercharge on top of that. Do you need the buffies with Mortis? You probably need it on the hypercharge and on the star power buffy. But for the most, like, he's just such an insane brawler still in this meta. Next brawler must max out this season has to be Otis. So Otis is still at the forefront of the meta ever since he got that damage buff. What was it? It feels like 6 months ago now. He's still at the top, and he's without a buffy, and he counters the buffy brawlers. So it's just win, 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 win when you're maxing out Otis. So I will say, like, Otis is primarily one of the more underrated brawlers in the game. And one of the, well, he's one of the lowest usage rate brawlers in the game's history, really, when you think about it. So maybe if you're looking to have fun, probably don't max out Otis. I mean, you'd be surprised. He does a lot of damage. He's really, if you're the type of person who likes to spoil the party and ruin the fun of the other team, right, because you're countering the assassins and tanks, well, go Otis, because he's fantastic at that, really versatile, and you don't really need a whole lot with him. You just need the star power that increases the amount of damage he can deal. And I mean, the hive charge is decent, the gadgets are okay, but just a plain Otis is just so strong when you max him out. The next brawler you must be looking to max out has to be Spike. So again, it's another buffy brawler, but it is an older buffy brawler, so perhaps you might have got a lot of his buffies by now. I'm hoping anyway, fingers crossed. But Spike is still insane in this meta. And again, it's one of the few brawlers with a buffy. But again, in pro play, Spike normally has been like a D-tier brawler for a very long time, right? Because pros know how to dodge curveball. He's got a slow reload speed, he's squishy, but since the buffies arrived, you know, his curveball star power gives him such crazy range, allows him to outrange so many brawlers inside of a game, which is really good star power. Then with the gadget buffies, both of them are just pretty decent, but just to rework with life plant, being able to throw it is good. And the popping pincushions received a heavy nerf, but it's still pretty decent. And then the hypercharge hasn't received a nerf yet, just making him take over games like crazy. So he's one of the main shutdowns to a lot of these aggressive ideas because of his super, because of his damage, because of his hypercharge. So he's staying at the top of the meta. He's also a great counter to Leon and Crow, so two really strong brawlers. So yeah, Spike is great. This brawler must be looking to max out this season has to be Crow. So Crow, I would say right now, after the meta has settled, I'll say he's a top 2 brawler in the game, especially in ranks. He's uncounterable. I'm having to ban him out all the time because you cannot counter this brawler. So let's go through whether you need his buffies or not. So starting off with his gadgets. Both gadgets are pretty good depending on the matchup. Again, a lot of people really underrated the shield gadget, and I think it's very, very good, by the way. But you do need a buffy on it because it refreshes the poison damage, so you can use it in 2 ways. But it's still like an okay shield, guys. People have definitely overreacted with how bad this gadget was supposed to be. I think it's a good one. Again, the slowing gadget's pretty good. In terms of star powers, again, like I don't think you need the star power buffies. I don't think they're like anything crazy, but just a nice addition. And the hypercharge, yeah, the hypercharge is really fantastic. But again, I don't think you necessarily, I mean, it's a very strong hypercharge, but I don't think you absolutely need the hypercharge. But I think the best one is actually the gadget buffy, which allows you to refresh the poison. That just makes him so strong. But the thing that makes him the strongest is the, I don't know, is it a bug? I think it's a bug, right? They just increase the projectile speed of his main attack by a lot. So you're just hitting everyone and everything without even trying. Like, you can just spam auto aim and you're just hitting everything at maximum distance. And Crow is that good in pro play that they're even playing him on bounty, for example. That's when you know Crow's broken. When you're playing him on those longer range maps, he's insane right now. Great counter to a lot of meds brawlers like Glober and Leon. So yeah, he's right up top. This brawler you must be looking to max out has to be Leon. So again, it's another buffy brawler, and I'm sorry, maybe I need to make a more free-to-play friendly max out video. I think I'll be doing that next week, guys. But I just can't deny, like, Leon is just insane, and it's literally because of his buffies. Leon without his buffies, D tier, F tier brawler inside of the meta, he's just far too predictable. But now with the buffies, right, the reason why he's so strong is because the lollipop drop gives a movement speed buff for you and your teammates. You can throw it, and you add on smoke trails. There's like a bug right now which allows you to go even faster inside the lollipop drop. And then in the lollipop drop, after you fly out your super, you're still invisible for 0.5 seconds. So what you can actually do, guys, it's like a mini Sandy super, essentially. You can fully not link it next to the grass, if that makes sense. But because of that extra 0.5 seconds invisibility, after you leave the gadget, you can then sneak into the grass without the enemies knowing. It is really, really broken, guys. I can't stress it enough. And then his hypercharge on top of that is very, very strong. But literally because of that gadget, glitch, whatever it is, he's a very, very good brawler. This brawler must be looking to max out has to be Glober. So I've been telling you guys about Glober for the longest time. Please, can someone just agree with me? Surely someone's going to be agreeing with me by now. Glober is insane. So he does need a more open map. He's better on knockout and bounty. Passive game modes he's a lot better on. But he's so toxic. He's so hard to take down as a support brawler. And that's actually thanks to a few things. So what I've realized for the longest time now, I mean, I like both gadgets. Both of them are really strong. But I think the dash and the heal gadget is better, because the reason why it's better is because you can get 25% of your supercharge through healing yourself. And then if you catch your 2 teammates, that's 75% of your supercharge. Naturally, he takes a while to charge his super. So with that combination, you can charge super instantly. The reason, and the super is really good because it slows the enemies down quite a lot. And you can scare them as well, which is a great feature. And it's really hard to counter a Glober. Like, the only obvious counters like Crow, maybe Bell, and even then, sometimes it's not enough to deal with the healing. The healing output is absolutely insane, guys. And like I said, in ranked, Crow's pretty much banned all of the time. It's very rare that you'll be able to get a Crow game into the Glober. And there's some maps in the game like Hideout, where if you get Glober just sitting behind a wall with his teammate, you just can't defeat him. You literally can't, because if he's weak, you can just gadget and he heals himself and his teammates around him. So I think he definitely needs some nerfs, guys. He's so strong. So max him out and abuse him whilst you can. Next brawler you must be looking to max out this season has to be Chester. So Chester is a fantastic counter to a lot of the aggressive and buffy brawlers in the meta right now. So yeah, Chester is a great counter to like Brawl, Bibi, you think Mortis as well, you think the Lilies, the Allies. There's so much aggression going on right now in Gem Grab, Brawl, and Hot Zone as well. So Chester's great. So the reason why Chester's going up in the meta, he's received 3 buffs, supercharge buff, damage buff, and I can't remember the third one. I think it's a health or something like that. Anyways, he's just increasing in the meta because of that, and the meta around him is helping him. He's farming through his hypercharge a lot more quicker. There's just so many brawlers that feed him. It just makes him such a strong brawler inside of a meta. And again, he doesn't need anything really too much in his kit, and most people should have Chester maxed out by now. His hypercharge is really game changing still as well. So yeah, he's back in the meta. Next brawler must be looking to max out has to be Kenji. So I've gone with like an off meta, well, not really off meta, like a low-key strong brawler in the meta. I always put Kenji at the top of B tier, the bottom of A tier, and he's just permanently stuck in and around then. So that's like a really consistent brawler if you're looking for one in the meta. And it's just all about the use of a Kenji. A good Kenji player can win so many different matchups. There's so many good matchups and maps in the ranked rotation right now where Kenji can really thrive on. You know, think of parallel plays. You think of any matchup into, I don't know, like a Bibi. He's good into Mortis. He's also, when you think of generic tank counters, a lot of the time, a good Kenji player can actually escape a lot easier. Think of how Mortis avoids those matchups with his tries. Kenji's a lot more fluid with his mobility. So yeah, Kenji's great for that reason. A good Kenji will just create so much pressure on the map, and he's still strong in the meta. The next brawler must absolutely max out right now. I mean, do we even need to talk about him? Sirius. Yeah, Sirius is broken. Everybody kind of knew it, right? He's absolutely insane. So in terms of his best build, both gadgets are pretty good, but I like A Star Is Born. And then onto his star powers, it's quite clear that you want to use the star power that gives you additional supercharge. And his hypercharge is pretty decent as well. It takes a long time to get, so I don't think it's really worthwhile investing it in. But overall, Sirius is just broken. It's just so hard to even find a counter for him. He's a thrower that can as well shoot out a long attack. He can slow tanks if they're running towards him. If there's one tank in the game, he's just going to feed infinite clones from. His clones are broken. There's so much health. He gets it so quickly. He's one of the best brawlers of all time. He's just insane. So max him out. Push him to Prestige 2, 3 as quickly as possible because he will be receiving nerfs and next balance changes. What I must absolutely max out for this season has to be Pierce. So Pierce has gone down a meta a little bit, and that's not really because of his nerfs. I just think it's because there's a lot of buffy crap going on right now, right? You've got all BBs, Mortis, all of these brawlers. You've got Spike, you've got Crow jumping on you a lot, Leon going really crazy with his invisibility. But a good Pierce player will still pop off. You just need a more open map, and you can't really abuse him in every single map right now, but it's still Pierce. He still gets infinite ammo. His slow attack, his last shot is just so strong. If you hit that, you can just chain the critical damage. You can chain the slows. His super deals a lot of damage, and he's still Pierce. He's still fierce. What I must absolutely max out for this season has to be Rico. So this is more so for the players that want to push prestige. I mean, he's good in ranked, but there definitely are some counters to him, and he's a bit more map specific. But inside of ladder, you can pretty much just play him any Brawl map, really. You can play him a lot of hot zone maps. You can play him a lot of gem grab maps. But he's insane in Brawl. Rico is absolutely broken on Brawl, it feels. He's the carry pick. And right, there's so many good maps for him in a Brawl ladder rotation. I'm finding he was one of the easiest prestige brawlers. And you know it's bad when pretty much every brawler, when you push high, you're facing off against Rico, because the unload speed buff that he received a couple of updates ago, it just broke him. It means you can rarely miss a shot, and he's just spamming infinite shots because of the reload speed gear. And yeah, his hypercharge is still great even after the nerf. He's just so annoying to deal with. The last brawler must be looking to max out this season has to be Ruffs. So Ruffs is literally one of the best counters to Rico if you're thinking of a counter, because you can feed off the Rico and then open up the map, and then Rico doesn't like it when the map opens up. So for that reason, Ruffs is pretty good. He's also a great counter to a lot of the meta brawlers right now. You've got like Pierce, you've got the sandbags to tank against him. You've got, I don't know, like a Leon he can be pretty okay against. He's got like Otis who's good against. He can feed off against a lot of the tanky brawlers in the meta, and then give his hypercharge to a really broken hypercharge brawler. So you see a lot in competitive play, especially like teams like Foot. They'll pair a Ruffs. They'll pair it with like a Mortis hypercharge or a Kenji or a Chester hypercharge or something like that, and just take over the game. So yeah, he received a couple of buffs as well the last update, but he's still at the top of the pro meta. And he has been for a pretty long while. Very underrated. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.